The Central Research Laboratory of Hitachi Limited, located in Kokubunji, Tokyo, is home to a precious forest that preserves the natural environment that has been there since the days when the area was once called Musashino. This forest nurtures a wide variety of life, including 27,000 trees of about 120 species, more than 40 species of wild birds, and a variety of insects and aquatic organisms. Located in the upper line of the Kokubunji Cliff Line that runs from the city of Tachikawa to the Ward of Ota, this is a rich natural forest with spring water that is the headwaters of the Nogawa River flowing into the Tama River. The Musashino Plateau is an alluvial fan formed about 100,000 years ago by sediments deposited by heavy rains and floods that carved the mountains in Okutama. The Kokubunji Cliff Line is a river terrace formed by the ancient Tama River, carving the loam layer made of volcanic ash deposited on the sediments. The Kokubunji Cliff Line appears flat on the upper, then gradually shifts to a slope. On the lower surface, water seeped and stored in layers under the ground gushes out and flows into wetlands and waterfronts. The area where the environment gradually changes from the upper surface to the lower surface is called hake in the local community, as a place where water flows out of the ground. A mixed forest in the old Musashino, a lowland forest that has preserved its environment. Here, Japanese red pines, kirkus, sawtooth oaks, and Korean hornbeams grow. These trees have been intimately involved in people's lives since ancient times, as they were used as fuel such as charcoal and firewood, and their fallen leaves were collected to make compost. Here you can observe a variety of plants and animals that prefer a bright forest environment that include unicorn beetles, stag beetles, and golden orchids. A giant zelkova tree over 100 years old. Highly valuable in this area, which is becoming increasingly urbanized. Since the forest has been left rarely touched, the trees here have grown so large that northern goshawks and brown hog owls have been observed, as well as Japanese raccoon dogs. Less accessible, the forest that spreads out on the slope offers a different landscape from that of the lowland forest. It holds not only large trees, but also others of various heights. Many of which bear fruits and feed small birds, such as varied tits and brown-eared bulbuls. The ground surface is covered with white striped bamboos. Japanese bush warblers nesting there and other birds such as pale thrushes hide under the thickets of bamboo grass. Covered with various plants, the soil is moistened with less sunlight and attracts flowers and plants such as red heart lilies that like a moist environment, and Japanese spring orchids that prefer a dim environment. On this sloping forest, a variety of plants create a varied environment and nurture many plants, flowers, insects, and birds. The spring water, as one of the unique features of this forest and the starting point of the Nogawa River, flows along hake to the Tama River. Rainwater seeps into the loam and gravel layers that slope along the Kokubunji Cliff Line, flows underground, and then gushes out to the surface. The sloping land and forest retain spring water and nurture a variety of creatures that prefer to live near the water. In the shallow and stony streams near the springs, you can see golden-ringed dragonflies and Japanese freshwater crabs, and in the shallow and smaller ponds, giant water striders swim, and Japanese common toads, which usually live in the forest, visit to lay their eggs. In the larger pond, little grebes catch fish. In winters, mallards and other ducks fly here to overwinter. Common kingfishers sometimes appear at the water's edge flowing to the Nogawa River to catch fish. A varied landscape created by the Kokubunji Cliff Line has produced a varied water environment. Meadows, forests, and water. It is precisely because this area holds a combination of a diversity of environments that a wide variety of creatures choose to live here. We will continuously commit ourselves to protect this precious and rich natural environment.